Hello, this is Robert Radford, 50 Years of Chess. Today I want to bring a game to you. The gentleman in this game who I played was Alan Sherman. But the game was played on the 3rd of November 2009. And I was rated about 1833 and Alan Sherman was around 1795. It was a league match. I'm going to show you the game now. I was white in this game and Alan was black. So e4, e6, d4, c5. Interesting. Looked like it was going to be a French and it's become kind of Sicilian now. So knight into e2, cd, knight takes, knight c6, knight c3, a6, definitely Sicilian, isn't it? Bishop e3, bishop b4, knight takes c6, bishop takes c3 check, b takes c, and b takes knight, and queen into d6. This is interesting because he's not able to get his pawn, that d pawn moving at this time with that queen in the way, and I supported it with the bishop. Now he's played queen e7 and bishop c5. Queen takes queen, bishop takes queen, f6, making room for the king to be able to get out so he can manually castle. So rook b8, and he can't challenge it at all on b8 with the bishop bearing down on b8. So king f7, c4, getting ready to push up and support that bishop. He's played knight f7 and I pushed that pawn on. There we go. Cemented that knight in there now. It's a great outpost there. Now he's trying to push out with his pawns. So he's gone f5, f3, a5, looking like he wants to swap the bishops off on a6. So rook b6 to prevent that, stopping him from going bishop a6. So he's moved his rook up to a7, bishop d3. Now he's found a way to force off the rooks, force off the rooks with rook b7. Rook takes rook, bishop takes rook, a4. Rook a8, king e7. Bishop a6, so he's trying to swap the bishops off now. So I played rook b1, bishop takes d3, c takes d3, g5, rook up to b7. So you see, this is a problem for him. It's been a problem ever since I got my queen and then my bishop in on d6. He's stuck with this d pawn on d7. He's just not been able to do anything about it. He can't ever get that pawn out, because even if he went back knight to say c8 right now and wanted to swap it, I could simply have a pawn on there and it would still be a problem for him. So he's gone back king to g8, g4, f takes g, f takes g. It's developing into a good endgame now. I've got a real advantage here. My pieces are in his face, if you like to call it that, and he's defensive at the moment. If you look at the bar on the right with the little red line, there's more white going up the board than black going down the board, so I'm winning this at this time. Knight g6, king e3, knight h4, rook back to b2 just to stop him going knight into g2 check, knight g2 check. So he's gone back with the knight to g6, Now I'm pushing my centre pawn, d4, h5, d5. Now we're really pushing to get on with this endgame. C takes, e takes, e takes, d5. King in to d4. So I'm looking to capture this pawn now, but he can't save it with knight to f4, but I have got the bishop I can swap off if I so choose to, and that's what I did. Bishop takes knight, g takes f4, king takes. So I'm a pawn up now with a 2.9 advantage on the machine. And look at that arrow, look at that bar on the right, gone right up. So it's looking very good. It's probably a one game for me now. After king takes pawn, he now moved his king up to e7. I checked him. He went to f6. And then I played the rook up to e5. This would guarantee me winning this pawn on f4 or f5. Yeah, f4. Rook a6, rook f5, king g6, and rook takes pawn. So I maintain that extra pawn. With rook takes pawn, he's gone king to g5, rook to d4. Now this is so I can use that rook to attack that pawn on d7 when I move the king out of the way. He's played h5, pawn takes pawn, king takes, and king back to c4. So here the rook's working really well because I've got it on d4. It's stopping the king from crossing over to h4 and attacking that h pawn, but it's also acting as a attacking piece against the pawn on d7. So black is forced to go back to defend this. This is great. I love it when you get into a position where you know what your opponent's moves are going to be because you're forcing them to make those moves to those squares. Then you're in complete control. You have the initiative, the advantage is clear, and you're going to win this game if you just keep it together and, as they say, win that one end game or one game. What's supposed to be one, you have to win it. I mean, I've said this all along. You've got to win the one game. You can easily lose them or draw them. Let your opponent escape and get away. So, king into b5. Going after this pawn now, or am I? So he's moved his rook across to c7, which is understandable because he's thinking, I have to go. If he doesn't go there, then I just move my king down to b6. Then he got to go back to a8, and he loses the d pawn anyway. So he may as well play that. So what I did now was again stop this pawn from ever moving. It's never moved the whole game. Just hasn't had a chance to. Rook to d6, and the plan is to just move my king down one square and then take the pawn off of him on d7 and push the c pawn home. And if he would have to swap the rook for the pawn, and then I, with my rook and my king and a queen, which I'll get on the a8 after I've taken the a5 pawn, then it's won. That's the plan. That's how you plan out things. So it's gone king to h4. Just move the king down, as I said. He cannot stay on that rank. He's got to go back, and he did go back. And then I took the pawn, and he resigned. So there we go. That was how I won it. He put up a good fight for a long time, and it wasn't until I got like towards the end game that I really demonstrated my superiority in this game. He's a good player. We played the following season, and we drew. I think he had white in that game. It was a draw match. So the two times we played, it was good, and I was sorry to hear about his death, which was reported in the Bristol chess site, Chesset. And yeah, he was a nice man. I met him several times at the Hannam Club. So thanks a lot for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the game. Thank you. Cheers.